Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me back at First Class Autosports here in Miami with my Shelby GT500 now that they've completed the finishing touches. The car's been getting full coverage SunTek reaction paint protection film along with the installation of the iconic dual racing stripes on a Shelby Mustang using SunTek's altered black PPF with the red pinstriping details to tie it in with the bright red calipers that it has as well. However, you might remember there was an issue that I was having with the new Shmi-mobile, something to do with the rear suspension that just was not quite right. The ride quality was far too firm. Well, I am pleased to say we now know exactly what the problem with it is. Today we're going to be able to get that rectified so that all is ready for the big tour ahead. We're going to pull the car forwards, get it up on the ramps here, take the rear wheels off, and you'll see exactly what's going on, as well as a couple of other parts of the PDI that we need to get completed. Firstly, this car is looking epic. The black stripes on the grabber line with the red pinstripes are perfect. Exactly how I was hoping this would turn out. But I need to show you and talk a bit more about what the problem is with the rear of this car. So when I received it, it was delivered by a truck, and I noticed that things like the floor mats weren't in the car. They're in the trunk or the boot. Things like the locking wheel nuts hadn't been fitted to the carbon fiber wheels that you get with the track package. So I was a little bit wondering whether there were parts of the PDI that maybe hadn't been completed correctly. There's a sticker that says it's been inspected and all should be completely fine with it, but I was looking a little bit further as to whether maybe some transport blocks could still be in here. That's something that you could potentially get. It stiffens the suspension for delivery of the cars out to the dealers. And if I turn on the light here and come and show you above the brake disc, you'll notice that hasn't been removed. That bright orange component in there is a spacer in the suspension, which we clearly need to take out. That significantly reduces the amount of suspension travel that the car has. So the plan now is to pull it forwards, take the wheels off. We'll be able to take those out. They're on both sides. They've actually been removed from the front ones. You have a slightly different spacer setup on the front axle, but being a carbon fiber track package version of the GT500, it has them on the rear as well. So make sure it doesn't bottom out in transport at any occasion. So we'll pull it forwards, and to do that, I can actually say that I have now learnt the trick to remote start it from the key. What you have to do is lock it and then double press the unlock. And it starts up instantly. So we'll pull it forwards in just a second. Get all of this sorted out. You have to press this to start it. I'm actually going to stop it. Oh, he says I've got to bring the key into the car because the key is in my pocket. So let's start it. Stop it, leave that in there for the moment. We'll pull it forwards, sort out a few things to do with the PDI, a couple of other bits and pieces as I mentioned, but firstly, get those suspension spacers out so that we can get the car riding as it should. Sounds so good. Right, this is going to come forwards and get up onto the ramps. I'm just going to stand back for a second. Beast. So you can see I did already fit the locking wheel nuts onto these. We will need to take those off. The part is in the trunk. In fact, if I open up the trunk very quickly, still shuffling forward just for a second, back here we have a few things that I've not done anything with yet. We've got the floor mats, we've got a bunch of bits and pieces in here, locking wheel nut, the towing eye, we've got the car cover that I've never tested out, we've got the window sticker. Obviously, being a car from the US, I could put that with the window sticker I've got for the Ford GT, which is kind of cool. And then we have the stripes looking fabulous. Up we go then, get it up in the air, and then, well, up here actually in the front suspension, if I turn on the light very quickly, you can see that everything that would have been in there has been removed. But if we come towards the rear, yeah, I can't actually see it right now, but ultimately that part there is going to move further up. And thanks to a fantastic video from Shelby Flyer, I was able to see exactly how you do this and what I need to learn to do now. But step one is to get these off, and to do so, we've got all of the tools we need in exactly the right color, as it happens. It's almost too perfect. Right, let's get cracking on. Let's get these removed then. Locking wheel nut first, just get this slightly loosened. Shouldn't be complicated. Yeah, leave that one in place for the moment. Just get rid of all of it. There we go. We've got the lug nuts on this, of course. Put that out. Carefully put this to the side because, of course, we'll put it on that side. We've got the carbon fibre wheels. I don't know how heavy these are going to be. We shall find out in just a moment. There we go. Wow, that's actually not too heavy. For such a big wheel and tyre, 20-inch wheel, 315 wide tyre, that is impressively light. Right, just carefully put this over to the side. And then, take a look at what we've got in there. That is what needs to be taken out. All we have got to do here then is take off this tape on this part, and then it should very easily come off. That's simple. And that needs to be opened. I've got a screwdriver here just to give it some force. And then, what do we do? Spin it around. Out it comes, just like that. And then this goes all the way up to the top and has to be squeezed into there. That might take me a little bit of manipulation to get it in properly. We have been successful with the first side, so round to the other. Exact repeat of the process over here. Carefully does it, just free spin that loose, so this wheel has come off straight away. Let's lift it out. Here we go, nice and easy. Exactly the same process to begin with then, although I can tell you this side looks a little bit more complicated for reasons I'm going to explain in a moment. Let's get this tape off. I'm probably the first person in a button-down shirt to ever remove the suspension spacers from a Shelby GT500. That is fairly easy. Get that out. Just those were the cause of some serious bumping. The trouble now though is that this rubber needs to come all the way up over the top of that soft sponge. So I'm gonna have to do a bit of work to pull that up before we can push it up into the bracket at the very top. Okay, we are just about there. I think that is in. This is surprisingly hard work, but we're there. I guess let's get the wheels back on. Just getting all the wheels in. Of course, we'll need to make sure that we torque them all up properly, using the kind of crisscross style. All in for the moment, not too bad. That's better, isn't it? But you always want to go with the almost diagonal approach, so skip 2, go for this one next. Then we go for the one up top. It is very hot to be doing this here. Back down to the ground we go. Of course, to torque up the rears, needs to be back sitting on its own weight, so there's something to counter against. One thing about the Carbon Fibre Track Pack is it actually sits half an inch lower than the non-Carbon Fibre Track Package car, which is exactly why we could see those earlier. Now though, of course, that looks how it should look. Got to make sure they're all torqued up. The spec of these is 150 pounds-foot, which is 204 Newton meters. They will all be done exactly to spec. Again, same process going with the almost opposites. Foot on the brake inside the car to make sure that it's completely held in place. Obviously didn't tighten them up far enough when I was putting them in before, sorry about that. Oh well.
Yes, get in there.
It was fully plugged and held in. Wait for the click and then you know it's at the spec using the wrench. All done. Excellent. The good news then is that those have finally been removed. So the drive, which we will head out with the car very, very shortly, is hopefully going to be significantly improved. I need to make sure I keep the wheel locking nut, but we have a couple of other things in here at the moment, and it's always quite fun to open a trunk with a wing, just because you can. So I will get the car cover out, just to make sure all is good with that. I haven't tried it yet at all. But back here, we've got the original lug nuts, we've got the towing eye, that will stay in the back. We've got some screws, I think, for a license plate bracket. Maybe we'll get to that. We've got this, which is the packet that it all came in, including the floor mats. And this is what led me to be a little bit suspicious as to whether there was something that we needed to do, because you'd think that these maybe would already be in the car, but because they weren't, something seemed slightly odd. Which one is which? This is the driver. I've got them the right way around. These are probably pretty easy to just slide in. I'll pop that one just there for the moment. Slide the seats back. Down here we've got the two poppers. It's pretty dark in the footwell, but I'll get those in place. The carpet's just making things a little bit more pleasant. I'll do the one on the other side later. Nice and easy, but I also need to try the car cover. Just see what this is like. Let's close the trunk down properly. Inside here it's probably outside the packaging. Oh yeah, of course, because in the advert it was demonstrated. Now these always take a little bit of learning, but in theory think we'll just throw it over the car and hope I've got it the right way. It's going to be completely hit or miss. And the design of this is kind of cool as well, of this cover. Oh, which way is it going to be? Which way is it going to be? That says Shelby. I think it's going to be the other way around. I think that's going to be the front, and therefore that is going to be the back. And you can see what this has on it. Check that out. The Cobra is on the side of the car cover. Very cool. Where's my mirror? There's my mirror. So let's just pull this all the way around. Had to be done once, right? You do buy this. This is an option that you add on top of the car, as opposed to it being included by default, which obviously has the right shape and moulding to cover around the rear wing. That's nice. Cobra GT500. Now it's time to pack that back away. Oh wow, that sounds good. We're going to take the car outside then. Actually take it over to the new shop just next door. That sounds so good. The car emerges into the sunshine. I think the first time I've had it on camera with the black and red stripes on it in the sunshine. Going around to the front side. That sounds so good.
Sounds good.
That is really cool, if I can say so myself. I am very, very happy with the result of this car. Obviously very stiff, but less stiff than it was. So up over the... Look how low that got, through the dip there. I was kind of fascinated by what was happening. We have a little bit of a shuffle around, because coming out of the workshop very quickly is a 911 Speedster, which has a really cool design with the wheels as well. That's going to be pulling out in just a second. And I think mine is going to be going inside. We've got lots of Teslas. Look at this. That's really cool. 991.2 Speedster. Look at the wheels though. Red and polished. Manual, 4-litre flat 6. Martini style stripes, Porsche logo. Very cool. Then we've got the G-Wagons and the SLS. And this in the sunshine. Heading into the workshop for the moment. Looking magnificent. But I'm actually going to skip on through myself to show you what else is here right now, because things are wild. The M2 CS, the Voul 05 Mexican supercar, seen those a couple of times before, and a Lamborghini Aventador SV with a full carbon fibre wrap. The whole body is wrapped carbon fibre. G-Wagon, regular G-Wagon, not 63. Dawn that's being wrapped. Look at that. Full carbon wrap over the entirety of the car. And then that angry, noisy thing now inside. It is time to head out. So, get it started back up. Now, ready for the road, fully PPF'd, my GT500. The journey kind of commences. Very soon, the full journey is going to begin. But for now, let's head out into the sunny afternoon to experience what the suspension is like. Awesome. Beautiful day, perfect time. Go for a drive in this car. Watch this big dip off the driveway here. Get some angle. We're good. We are good. See you guys later. Big thanks for their work. Okay, let's drive through some bumps. Oh, that's better. I'm doing my best to drive the car through bumps. This is what was wrong for sure. Yeah. I would always double check these things, because you never know whether they're going to have been done correctly before you collect the car. I don't know exactly at which stage those should have been done. Of course, the car was transported directly down to me, but how it drives now, this is infinitely better. Infinitely better. Without that bumping sensation at the rear. The car has the Magna suspension. It's supposed to drive very, very, very well. And from my experience driving the Triple F collection car and the factory cars at the media launch, what, a year and 3 or 4 months ago, this is more like what I was expecting out of it. Now, technically, and I've been reading the running in brochure a lot more since I last drove the car, it's technically only 100 miles of driving before you can start to enjoy it a little bit more. So let's press the mode switch and go into sport. Let's go into manual. It just says don't use full load until you've had an oil change. The sound in this thing is silly. It's amazing, just a touch of window down. Oh, those burbles. This is going to be a lot of fun going ahead with this car. Amazing. Hold on to the revs a little bit. That shift pop is awesome. Going through a corner feels so much better than it did before. Yes! I am very excited for the, well, 4,000 or 5,000 miles ahead. Travelling from where we are now, Miami on the east coast, to the west coast, with a very zigzag route along the way. Just look out over the hood at the moment actually with those stripes and the red pinstripes. Those look stupidly cool. I know they aren't going to be to everybody's taste. I'm sure by now people are wondering why I did that. But it makes it unique. It makes it a Shmeemobile. But now it's time to really and truly get this car running properly. I am so pleased that the suspension is now all good. That there are no problems with it. Nothing that's going to be long lasting or needs to be investigated.